it might hurt you.
Right.
But then that also might be like the toss up. Like, is it Jackie's or is it Jonny's?
Ooh.
Show me your farts.
Yeah.
Or something like that, right?
That merch.
Yeah,
merch alert.
We can move that merch. Cheers to 2022 and new resolutions you can actually keep. How about having some clean and shiny balls all year round? That's what I'm talking about, Jax.
Ooh.
But now with our sponsors at Manscaped, we're here to save your balls this year and make the ball drop into 2022 the cleanest and sexiest ever.
Hell yeah.
Set your first New Year's resolution with good intentions and join the 4 million men worldwide that trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use the promo code SHOWMEYOURS, all one word, all capitals, for 20% off and free shipping.
Wow.
It's fantastic, right, Jackie?
Yeah.
I mean, this is new year, new me, all that stuff. Let's get serious. These flashers,
Yeah.
probably going to be the same person.
Yeah. You guys aren't changing.
Why not change your balls?
Exactly.
You know what? Why not have a grooming routine that isn't complete without applying a crop preserver and a crop reviver?
Yeah.
They don't even know that it's the smelliest part of their body, and they're just rubbing like pit stick deodorants. They have no idea that they can pull their balls out with ultimate confidence.
Hell yeah.
And Manscaped's here to help. And we're here to
Nice.
move that along.
Yeah.
Isn't that a match made
Help
in
us
heaven?
help you.
It's ridiculous, Jackie. If they're not getting on, how can they not kick discomfort and poor hygiene to the curb this year without using the best tools for the job? You know, they got a lawnmower 4.0. It's
Right.
waterproof. It has a flashlight on it. You could go swim. Well, maybe not underwater, actually. Let's get serious. Use it in the shower. Don't use it in the tub, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't be
we're not getting well.
ridiculous with it.
Let's get serious
Yeah.
here, right? But what you need to do after is get all the other products to make, well, I mean, you could tell them.
Yeah.
You could tell them. I mean, the difference from before Manscaped Johnny Balls
It's crazy.
to after Manscaped
It's
Johnny
like
Balls.
night and day.
I'm telling you, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, you got to get on this
It's
thing.
a brand new world.
Absolutely. So this is a call to action. Once again, go to manscaped.com. Use the promo code SHOWMEYOURS. All one word, all capitals. At checkout for 20% off and free shipping. It's New Year. Take care of your balls.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manscaped. Welcome back to Show Me Yours with Jackie and Johnny, everybody.
I'm Jackie Agnew.
And I'm Johnny DeVito. Welcome back on this wonderful, second episode in the new year.
Yeah.
We're having fun. It's a white Christmas in Vancouver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a little cold out there, but I think
Yeah.
we're all getting through.
Yeah.
I hope everybody out there is getting through too. You know, while we got them here, I think it's a great time and opportunity for you to smash some likes and subscribes. You know what I mean? Give us a couple 5-star reviews. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do all the good stuff.
Drop a comment.
Oh, love a comment.
Yeah,
love
love
a
a
comment.
comment.
Yeah.
Leave or follow us on Instagram.
Oh,
like
yeah.
us on Facebook. We just got to 100 likes on Facebook.
Get out of here. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Let's put a couple zeros at the end of that. Flashes.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Follow us on all the things. Share with your friends. Share on your Instagram story, and tag us so we know you've shared it. And
Otherwise, I won't know.
Exactly.
Right? I don't pay a lot of attention to that stuff. So, you kind of have to, throw a beacon out there for me to understand what's going on.
Yeah. And if you follow us on YouTube, then leave a comment letting us know that you followed, and we'll give you a little shout out.
Have we done that yet?
Nope.
Oh.
'Cause no one's left a comment.
Oh, what's up?
Except for Dawn.
I think Max, Dawn, can Max Schreiber do it too? What's up, Max?
Oh, maybe, yeah. Maybe or we just haven't been
I don't think we
keeping up.
check, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we actually
This could
check.
be our problem.
There could be a bunch of people out there that have stopped listening now because they're like, these people, they're ridiculous.
Fucking liars.
Yeah, they've said that they've shouted us out. So everybody that's expecting a shout out, I'll shout you out right now.
We'll review
Yeah.
and
shout out to everybody.
shout out to everybody.
Word.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Jackie, you brought me here today. We've
Yes.
sat down to discuss something timeless.
Yeah.
But I think we'll get to music
yes.
a little bit later.
Yes.
What do you have off the top for me here, Jax?
Well, there is a 90-Day Fiancé
Great show.
star. I think that's where she's from.
That's what
Who
it says.
has been selling her farts in a jar, making upwards of $100,000 doing so.
Taking money directly out of my pocket.
Right?
Because I've been out here trying to sell farts in jars like lemonade stand style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could find me on the streets, Wednesday to Sunday, rain or shine, right? And I'm out there just trying to, bottle that
Right.
essence and get it to the people.
Right.
Right, but just because I'm not on 90 Day Fiancé, I can't move. You know what I
Right.
mean? I can't move that gas like she can, which is a problem.
Yeah.
Which is a problem for me. I've been upset about it, but I think what's more important about this story is the care that you have to take if you're gonna crack off heaters.
Yeah.
Like that at you know what I mean, at a consistent rate, and I want to do it at a professional level.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like she didn't know.
You have to be churning out output at a pretty high clip there. And you know, I guess in order to compensate for the amount of gas that she had to produce, she was eating a lot of, you know, beans and other foods that are known to make you very gassy.
Absolutely.
And because of this, she got extreme pains that sent her to the hospital. And she thought she was having a stroke or a heart attack. Turns out it was just really bad gas. And they were like, you got to eat more than beans. And you got to significantly reduce your bean intake. And so beware.
Yes, but then also giving her some kind of medication or whatever that makes her not like produce as much gas or whatever, right?
So her whole,
effectively ending her career.
Exactly. Yeah. Though it did say that now she's selling like fart in a jar NFTs, which is like the worst turn this story could take. Yeah,
like that's a bummer because like it's inevitable, and that's like the world that we live in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That somebody is like, okay, so Jackie, I was doing a little bit of research on this. So I just like when you hear fart in a jar, girl, right?
Yeah.
You think that's going to be like the first hit that comes up on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you YouTube search fart in a jar,
right,
it's ridiculous how little money I'm making out here, right? I had no idea that the industry was really popping off like this, and I think that you know, doing my like lemonade stand or door to door, you know what I mean, kind of sales. Like I wanted to be like a mom and pop kind of thing, you know, like a brand you can trust. Right. But not the case. Not the case here with this young lady. And the thing is that, you know, she's just not like the chosen one, right? If she doesn't have the gift, then she shouldn't be trying to like alter her body. You know what I mean? To
she's
to
going
get to
against
a level
the grain of
what I do naturally,
the hand she was dealt, so to speak.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, because like let's get serious, right? How many jars do you think she's sent out a day?
It's got to be quite a few.
Jackie, we spend time together.
Yes.
And I mean, I could probably get 10 jars off before noon.
Oh, at least.
And I don't really need to change my diet at all to do this. You know what I mean? I am the chosen one. Yeah. Right? And this young lady, like I'm not over here saying like, you know, she's biting style. I'm not saying that, you know what I mean, that she, you know, needs to stay in her own lane. Yeah. I'm just saying that, you know, you really need to like look after your health, right? If you have to do like take all these supplements and stuff just to get to a level that I'm at naturally.
Do you think there's potential business opportunity that we could sell your farts in jars but pass them off as my farts in jars?
Jackie, I like this is why like we're the best team is because like we were on the same page already from the start. I think that, you know, I don't want to say that this 90 Day Fiancé star is like disingenuous at all, or if she's been like duping the people, but it is pretty funny. You know what I mean? If not, she's actually putting like flower petals in the jar to like capture the essence of the fart, which is wild.
That is wild.
It's awesome. I think it's.
What do the flower petals do?
I have no idea. Nothing, I imagine.
Do they wilt? Is that like proof that there's
there's just like that? That would be that's how you would know.
Have you ever tried to like bottle some sort of gaseous
Jackie,
substance?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. There is like a classic maneuver just called like the cup of fart, buttercup, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people have a different name for it. Basically, what you do is you put your hand, you kind of cup your hand to your butthole, and then you fart into it, and then you kind of like catch it, and then you throw it at somebody's face.
Oh God!
So like that is some like schoolyard shit. That I haven't done that in a long time.
That's horrendous.
But believe me when I tell you it works.
I believe you.
So like that's pretty wild. But I've also like farted into a bag as well, and kind of done that like but I didn't save it over a period of time. Now that is hilarious. That's a level that I haven't taken it to. But like I did do it, and then you go up to, I think it was my brother's face, and you just have like a bag in your hand, and then you just pop it, and then it's like, bah.
That's so gross.
Awesome. It's the funniest thing you can do.
I've bottled bong tokes before.
Really?
Yeah. So it was like one time, this was like years ago, I was in my friend Shelby's car, and she just had like a mason jar there. Yeah. And I was like, what is this? And she was like, oh, it's just like an empty mason jar. And so for whatever reason, my instinct was to open it and smell the inside. Sure. And so that's what I did. And it was like, the most horrendous thing I've ever smelled. And I was like, what the fuck? And she was like, I did not think you were going to do that. There's a bong toke in there. I was like,
so you got hit with it first?
Yeah. And so then we had like all these, and so then we like thought
Did
it was
smell
funny.
like weed,
and so
or was it just like
it
bad
was
breath?
like bad, like bong toke breath. It was like sitting in there, like, you know, in like tight in a mason jar for days. Like it was bad. It wasn't like a weed smell. It was like just a bad, like almost like
I wonder what breaks down.
like really old like bong water or something like that. And so we had all of these master plans to and like after that, then like we bottled like another bong toke and stuff, and our plan was to because it was like so funny because she wasn't even trying to like get me with that. I just like fucking smelled it for no reason.
Yeah,
and
that's kind of weird. Like
wow.
especially if it's like not yours, right? Like I mean, I will, you know, touch my balls and smell them because like you're just curious, right?
Yeah.
It's been like delightful since Manscaped shout out.
Yeah.
Has been you know what I mean, in the picture, but you know what I mean, there's a little bit of that like personal curiosity or whatever, but like I think that when it's like somebody else's jar,
right,
that's just begging for trouble.
Right.
Regardless what's in there, right? It could have been a salad dressing that could have sucked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But what you did.
But I like went in there just, you know, I was on a mission. I was, you know, getting all the senses involved.
You're the type of gal that just like opens the jar in a car and just gives it a whiff.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that's brave.
Yeah.
That's bravery that, you know what I mean, that you just don't see. It's a rare, you know, commonality. What do you call it? Personality trait in people today.
I was curious. I'm a curious gal.
That you are.
And so then we had like this whole plan that we were gonna like get our friend Maddie with it by just our plan was to like get her in the car. And, like, one of us would be like, you know that, like, weird, like, new, like, mason jar smell? And the other would be like, yeah, like, what is that? And then Maddie, of course, would be like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? And I'd be like, yeah, you know, like, how mason jars always, like, kind of smell weird when you first get them? And then produce the mason jar with the bong toke and then get her to do
Jackie, as a young man, I knew immediately that anytime any of my friends have ever asked me to smell anything, the answer is always no.
Yeah.
It's emphatic, no thank you, and like, you know, turn around. Even in like a food situation or whatever, you don't get your face too close to something because they're going to dump your head into the thing, you know what I mean, right? So like you always kind of want to protect you and yours. Where you messed up was not farting in that jar.
Well, yeah, and like it's not like we don't like typically like pull like pranks on each other like that. So there's a level of like unexpectedness, and plus like Maddie's very similar to me in that like she can be quite gullible about certain things, which I can as well. I fucking go around sniffing mason jars.
Yeah. I mean, you have like a certain like trust in the world that like the world's not gonna like deal you like a shitty hand. Right. Whereas me is the opposite. I walk around with like a little bit of cautious, you know, behavior because like I just know that the next step could be my last, and I'm not about to smell any jar. Yeah. You know what I mean? Unless like if I got a brand new mason jar, then there is something about like a you know, like new mason jar smell. I've never heard that term before.
Right, but that would be like kind of like an interesting if your friends were like, yeah, what the fuck is that? And then like a mason jar was produced. I don't know. We thought
mason jar full of farts though.
Yeah. But anyways, we never got around to it, and now it would be kind of like difficult to set up that whole situation. But that was the plan.
We could just restart this whole episode so that Maddie never hears this.
Yeah, but it like that's true. I'm sure I could still make it happen, or we could just do it to someone else.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we're off to an okay start. I'd rather not restart. You know, I mean, I think it's okay.
Yeah. But bottle a bong toke, keep it in there for a couple days, then give it a whiff. It's whew.
Jackie, we're talking about somebody that's making $100,000 bottling farts here. I feel like we've gotten like, you know, far away from
we're talking about bottling invisible substances.
Absolutely. But I mean, well, I would argue that a bong toke at the beginning is a visible substance.
That's true.
Right? Just like some of my farts. And that's why it would be important, I think, to first of all, to get a couple rose petals, you know, to see what's going on here, to
prove.
actually like try this out. There is a guy on YouTube that paid $500 for one of these jars.
Wow.
And he has like his own podcast or whatever, and he's you know, opening it on air.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of disposable income the rest of the like just people have.
So he did like a live like unbottling?
Yes.
What was the reaction?
Honestly, I thought that it was a little bit staged. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
I think that he was playing it up for his own page. Like imagine, you know, we're over here, you know what I mean, with our loyal dedicated following, right? And we're opening jars of farts. And you know what I mean? I think that I felt it was disingenuous.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that being said, like you don't want to look like a fool, you know, that bought $500 of just empty jar.
Right.
Right. You want to sell.
You want to play it up a little bit.
Exactly. Right. Like I mean, nobody that spends $500 on a jar of farts is going to look like a fool in this house, Jackie.
Exactly.
Right?
Do you think? I think this. Should we run this experiment? Should we bottle each other? Not each other's. Bottle our own farts and exchange them.
Jackie, I've been asking for you to fart in front of me for like 3 years. I'm under the. I'm under the. You know, the school of thought that air doesn't come out of your butthole. So just for that fact, I mean, I'd kind of like it a little more fresh. You know, I'd kind of like to get that one from the horse's mouth. But what you're proposing here is something that I could have done right now. And you have jars. This could be a Show Me Yours exclusive. I mean, I think we need to. We definitely
I think they need to like gestate for a couple days.
Oh no, of course, right? I think just in the name of science, you know, and what we need to do for our listeners. And I'm absolutely into this. I think for next episode we'll have a full fart report.
Yeah.
Full fart jar review.
A full fart jar.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I didn't really know was, you know, as big as it is, and then it totally makes sense. Right?
Yeah,
because like people like selling panties and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I was looking into the of course, right? Now, Jackie, like you've been actually getting hit up by weirdos on the internet like 5-6 times or something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is the service that you should be offering.
Yeah, I mean like
unless they find this episode and then you know, it might hurt you.
Right.
But then that also might be like the toss up. Like is it Jackie's or is it Jonny's?
Ooh.
Show me your farts or something like that, right?
That merch.
Yeah,
merch alert.
We can move that merch. Let us know if there's a market for it out there. And I mean, if anybody listens to this show, they might be the kind of person that might be into that.
Yeah, let us leave a comment if you would buy either of our bottled fart jars.
I feel like I'm going to be just like let down at the end of this. You know what I mean? Like one vote is worse than no votes. In this particular situation, I think. But I would absolutely be happy to offer the service to the world. You know, at the beginning I said that that I was like already doing it because that's just like the idea of a lemonade stand of fart jars is hilarious. But the prospect of, you know what I mean, me actually like getting involved on a business kind of you know, situation like this, then there's nothing that would make me happier than just showing back up to like hometown, like high school reunion and stuff like that. And everybody's like, how you doing? You know, you're catching up with old friends. You know what I mean? So this guy's a lawyer. This guy's a doctor. What's Jonny doing? He's selling farts.
Right.
On the internet.
Yeah.
And and lucratively too.
Yeah, I think there's potential there. I'd buy your fart jars.
That makes me
I probably
so
wouldn't,
happy.
because I could probably get them for free.
Jackie, you guessed
why
them.
buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Am I right?
Anytime you want, you got it. Like that's just, you know what I mean? It's always on the house for you, but that's just because, you know, right? You're a preferred customer. I don't think anybody else would, you know, would really have that now that I know that there's like a dollar value attached to each of these, you know, gaseous blasts.
Yeah.
Could you imagine
gaseous
that,
blast.
like, okay, there's always like a weird kind of like painting that I do in my head every time that like say like you smoke a bong toke or something. You're like, how much weed have I smoked in, you know, throughout the course of my life? You know, cheeseburgers, eating, you know, miles of dicks, right? Like the whole thing is fascinating. But when you think like how many farts, like if you had like farted enough to like fill up like a hot air balloon, or like several hot air balloons, or like a Hindenburg.
Right. I feel like, so we've had a discussion about this before, but it wasn't exactly this, but we were talking about what counts as one fart. Like, if you have a bunch of little farts grouped together, is that still one fart?
I'm of the thought that if you're like you ever do like the walk and kind of like every time you take a step another one kind of comes, like I would say that would be like a rock skipping scenario where it's still one toss.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Sure.
If it's like
for
the
sure.
same source.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think if there's a pause for more than like 10 seconds, that's a different, you know, maybe even 5. I think it would have to go like case to case.
Right.
You know, on that, I don't think we need to be, you know, or bring that like topic back, but I we could, I mean,
I don't know if we discussed it on the podcast. I feel like this was just a casual discussion that we had. I don't remember what the context was.
It's
but I remember discussing like groupings of farts and what counts as one.
Definitely on brand.
Yeah.
I could see us having that conversation for sure. As far as what would constitute like one, I think like the calculation should be made like average like farts per day, and then if you could like get like a balloon kind of a scenario or whatever, right, find a way to measure you know how much air is being expelled exactly, right, and then from there you could do, you know, some simple arithmetic to get you, you know, 31 years, X amount of farts per day, volume, you know, wise or whatever, right? Like by the time, you know, then you could really like, I would probably put like more on it, probably in the past, like, you know, from like 19 to 31 for sure, probably just drinking like a lot more beers and you know, getting really into Mexican foods and things like that. You know? Then I'm introducing more beans into the diet that I didn't have before, and I think that definitely contributed to.
Well, that's not a bad thing, as long as you're not, you know, taking it to the extreme like this gal did.
I would never do that. You know what I mean? Like I said, like, I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm like the chosen one, but like I live this life.
Up there.
Oh, absolutely, right? I mean,
you have the ring.
I definitely do. I definitely do. It's like one ring piece to rule them all. And one brown eye to find them. But do you think anybody's ever gotten like Sauron's eye tattooed on their butt?
There's gotta be someone.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Although I just got tattooed yesterday, and the idea of getting that like around my butt would be like horrible.
That's crazy. Yeah, because some people, like, there's lots of people out there that do like the butthole tattoos, which seems like wild. We should post a video in the description for this episode. Right. On YouTube, there's a girl. She's like 22 years old, and I think that there's like no shortage of meth in her system when she sits there and giving like a camera interview while getting her butthole tattooed. This sounds vaguely familiar. It's the funniest video because like the way that she's just like fucking so out of her mind, but at the same time too, it's she does say that it's like pleasurable in a sense. You know what I mean? That kind of makes sense. Do you think that? Like just a little vibrating, just a little rattle around? Yeah. I wonder what the sensation would be like. But I don't particularly want a tattooed booty hole. No, yours looks nice the way that it is. I think that it's important to, you know what I mean, to maintain a blank canvas. Imagine I just did it and didn't tell you. And it was just like a little, whoa. Hey. What would you get? I don't know. I was just trying to think of that. Like if it'd be like a movie character or something like that would be like fun or whatever, like a big hairy Bigfoot face would be adorable. Like, you know what I would do? Or like the mask. I would do Bugs Bunny coming out of the Looney Tunes thing. Awesome. Like, what's up, Doc? I've seen somebody with a butt cheek tattoo that's like pointing a rifle at the butthole, and it's like, come out of there, you wascally wabbit. And that's awesome. Yeah. That is awesome. Anybody willing to make a funny butt tattoo, top of the list. Yeah. I think it doesn't really get much funnier than that, but you know what I mean, the commitment, the commitment of going like right around the hole, because I think it's pretty common for butt tattoos and you just gotta like fucking spread them the whole time you're sitting in the chair. Could you just imagine? Like, I mean, you end up like forming like a bond with like your tattoo artist or whatever, like over a period of time. You know what I mean? If you hit it off, you're sitting there and
putting you through like an incredible amount of pain for a period of time or whatever, right? Like you just kind of end up, there's kind of like a bond there or whatever.
Yeah,
but like, how do
yeah.
you do it? How are you getting your butthole tattooed on your back, legs up, or
I
knees and elbows bent over?
ooh, I think like on out. Oh shit. I guess on your back, legs up. Yeah, unless you were like on your stomach and you had someone willing just to like hold them open the whole time.
What do you think your ass cheeks look like? Like when you're like bent over on your, like they're pretty
But I
well,
mean,
like,
not
pretty
not
well
bent over.
exposed.
I meant like lying on your stomach.
Oh, lying on your stomach.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Yes, no, that would definitely be like, it would be hilarious if like a
Yeah.
tattoo apprentice, like that's
Yeah.
just your job for the next like 4 hours today, is just like holding this
Yeah.
girl's butt cheeks open.
Yeah. What
That
would
is
the
awesome.
healing be like for that?
I imagine uncomfortable. I mean, tattoos
Yeah.
are never.
Like you couldn't really put like a second skin on there because then you're closing off your butthole.
Just imagine farting second skin off. I just peeled my second skin off, and it's on there. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly.
Like, it's on there
Yeah,
so tight.
like that would be
That's
so
awesome.
unpleasant.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
But it also depends on like the type of tattoo that you're getting too. Like I
Yeah.
think if there's like a lot of like shading and you know stuff like that, like more contact with the needles to skin, then I think it's going to be a little bit
Yeah,
worse.
a lot
I
of
think
like
you could probably get away with like a simple little line, you know,
some
drawing
line work.
some line work, maybe you know, relatively easy.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah, as long as there's not too much ink. If you like go like full blown, like full like ass to butthole like sleeve.
Like I think like the solid black. Like you ever see the bass player from Rage Against the Machine? And like Audio Slave or whatever,
she's,
right? Like he's there, like
black,
Laura
yeah.
Jane Grace, like just like
Yeah,
completely
yeah.
blacked out her arms,
Just wild.
just going like black
Yeah.
crack or whatever,
Yeah,
like all the
yeah.
way down. I think like if some people go like anal bleaching, this is just like a different direction.
It's the opposite. Yeah.
Right. If you really want to dirty up that you know that
Dirty
pink
up
little
that hole.
pink little balloon knot, then,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. There's a good way to start, but I think there's like a level of commitment there
Yeah.
that like I mean it's okay. Like at that point, just like call your folks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Reach out
exactly.
to everybody. Like,
I mean,
just
like
apologize.
if you want to get your butthole tattooed, then go for it. If
Yeah.
it's something that you've like wanted for a while, but
Sure. I'm not. Here
maybe
to
like
shame,
not for
yeah.
your first tattoo.
I love that. If that's like the next generation, like,
Yeah.
that was a big thing. I mean, like you know, we've got a lot of. We both have a bunch of them, right? But not to the point that it's like, you know, they're not like all like the check out my tattoos kind of places or whatever. So like when a
Yeah,
guy gets
yeah,
like his
yeah.
first tattoos and they're just like on his hands or something like that,
Yeah.
and you're like, cool, man, like.
yeah,
right
when
on,
they
but
just go balls to the wall
yeah,
first
right?
time.
Not
They
really
get like
for
a
me.
full sleeve their very first
Totally,
time. Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
Right, but like I mean, if you're gonna sit through it, and you're gonna, you know, and
Yeah,
you got
whatever.
it, then fair enough, right? But that would just be funny if that's like the next version of that. It's like, you know, because now it's like this guy's like face tattoos that don't have any other tattoos, and it's just like, hey
Yeah.
man, you got any tattoos? And he's just looking at face tattoos like you're a pussy because like you have
Yeah.
to have your whole butt crack completely blacked out for you to really
Yeah.
be badass.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
do you go to the balls?
Oh, yeah. Where do you stop there? Definitely don't tattoo your pussy.
I don't
I mean,
want to
like
agree with
maybe,
that,
like
but
the,
maybe I
like
should.
the mound, you could, but not like actual like.
Sure.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
like the vicinity. I think you don't want any ink up in there.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it would look pretty cool.
Yeah,
Like, it would be
yeah.
definitely fascinating to look
Yeah,
at. Like,
like-
for me, I think like you can't. Like I hate a sleeve of tattoos that just kind of stops at the wrist, like it's just like a hard line. So from there, like you probably have to like fade out to like the back of the balls.
Yeah,
And I think it'd probably
yeah.
be pretty elegant.
Yeah,
what
it
I
could
mean?
look kind of nice.
Yeah, right. For you, I'm thinking maybe like a phoenix rising from your butthole,
Ooh.
right? But like then it would just be
Mhm.
more like a, you know, like a winged situation coming up to your thighs or whatever, rather
Ooh.
than, you know what I mean, like some like hard,
Yeah.
you know, color work or whatever that like I'd be going for.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like I mean, if I'm seeing it right, like in my mind's eye, pretty awesome. You know, I
might be onto something here.
I mean, put it on the list, right? Like I got a list of tattoos that I'm like, you know, looking to get in the future, and if you want to put that one on there, on your
you
list, then
wouldn't
I'm
be opposed.
totally into it. More so just because I want to be in the room when you're getting when you're getting it done. Like this would turn in from like that would be fine, because for that one you would definitely have to go like on your back, legs up,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
which
you
would
need
just be
full-
super weird.
full
What do you do
spready.
for that? Like because you're not wearing panties. Do you just get like you get a little cover? Or are you just going pussy to the wind?
I guess like a little cover, like how they would like cover like your nipples when you get your sternum done.
Sure.
Like a little
I mean, what a better sound when you don't have a word.
Well,
yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm sure it's one of those things that like we're just like spitballing it back and forth, but I bet there's millions of them.
mm-hmm. Do you think Tra-La-Lu is a butt cheek tattoo?
Tra-La-Lu as a butt cheek tattoo is a statement.
Yeah.
Is the tattoo.
Yeah.
Like the whole world, the whole thing is Tra-La-Lu as a butt tattoo. Like if I had like a sign, like a Twin Peaks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like welcome to Twin Peaks sign or whatever, but it was just Tra-La-Lu as a butt tattoo. Then I would trade all the tattoos on my body for that, because that is awesome. Fortunately, we're not in a world where that's the case.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have like a allotted number and you can go. So I think I might actually do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tra-La-Lu is a butt
Yeah.
tattoo.
For listeners out there that don't understand the Tra-La-Lu reference, because I think that we need to bring it into
the fold.
Into the fold of the
Yeah.
show, because we talk about it so much in person.
Right.
So I want everybody, after you finish listening to this episode, is to go watch the movie Midsommar. Somar.
Yeah.
This film is it probably has like the most realistic depiction of like mushrooms. And stuff. Like,
yeah. I mean, like it's definitely intended.
There's some good parts of it.
It's intended to be a horror movie.
Yes.
And I think it would be if you're like watching alone or perhaps like in a theater or something. But we were watching it
together, and we're hilarious.
Yeah. We couldn't take it seriously, and especially because it was in October, so we were watching a bunch of other horror movies, and this one was so different.
It didn't really like stack up to a lot of like the slashers and the thrillers and
yeah,
stuff like
it just
that
wasn't
we were
the
watching.
tone that we were watching.
Still, definitely very good, very funny, but at a point where there
are
character,
some like definitely very scary moments.
Yeah, so without spoiling anything of the movie for you that haven't seen it, just wait for a moment where you'll hear Tra-La-Lu.
Yeah.
And you'll know what to do when they Tra-La-Lu.
Tra-La-Lu.
It's the funniest thing that you've ever seen in your entire life. And I think that, first of all, we need like a button. You know what I mean? Like the staples. Like that was easy. You know what I mean? Like the button that they have on the commercial or whatever.
The Tra-La-Lu button.
Yes. So like right before bus time, just Tra-La-Lu.
Yeah.
I think that I'm going to get started on this immediately.
Good.
But I think that any like open to all butt tattoos, anything that's like has to do with the butt is inherently funny.
That's true.
You know, but also kind of sexy in a, you know what I mean, in the wrong naughty kind of way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So anything butt tattoos, selling farts, I'm all for it if you can get away with it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
And if you're, you know what I mean, not the chosen one, then I think that it's important that, you know, you look out for your own body.
I think so.
Regardless of thing. It all comes back to greed, Jackie. Everything in human history or whatever just kind of like all circles back to greed, right? Where a person is going to just put their own health at risk, you know what I mean, just to make that money, you know, putting farts in jars and sending them to strangers.
Yeah, I mean, it's noble, but, you know, look after yourself. If you already have a lot of gas, this could be an interesting business opportunity for you.
Totally. And also, phone me, holler at me. Like, if I get a phone call, Jackie, and it's like one of my friends, and I answer it and I say hello, and it's just a fart.
Yeah, that's so funny.
That's been like, those like, I've maybe like 4 of the best phone calls that I've ever had in my entire life. Awesome.
Nice. But don't push yourself. Don't eat don't eat.
Might be a burp jar girl.
I could definitely fill up a few jars with burps.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, if you want Okanagan cider hard pear.
Yeah.
3 days later, then call Jack.
Yeah. Just right into your mouth.
That's our deal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, not them.
Yeah, I was gonna
they
say.
only get jars.
Like, don't make it.
No.
If you start burping in other people's mouths, then it's not special anymore.
Oh no, I wouldn't do that.
Thanks.
But moral of the story: don't force yourself to fart too much.
True.
And only get a butthole tattoo if you really want one, and perhaps try a different tattoo in a different spot first.
Yes.
Just so you know you're
Yes.
familiar with the process.
Yes, but also at the end of the day, I mean, if you're, if you're buck wild, then you know what I mean. I'm not.
Then yeah, you do you.
Exactly right. We're
You
not
do
here to
you.
we're not here to turn you down. If your
Getting
fuck style is buck
tra-la-loo
wild,
butt
then
tattoos.
that's right.
All right, so
What are we talking about? Music?
yeah, shall we move on
Yeah.
to the album?
Sure,
So
sure.
the album we're talking about today is called Coming Home by Leon Bridges. He's an American soul singer. He's only 32. He's from Fort Worth, Texas, and this album came out in 2015 on Columbia Records.
Speaking of a man whose fuck style is buck wild,
Mhm.
there's some. Yeah, I'm sure he's got
Mhm.
no shortage of. You know what I mean, of little heartache and pain on this album, but also a lot more sensual stuff. I listened to
yeah.
it alone,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was a problem. I think I would have enjoyed this record much more. You know what I mean, if the lights were dimmed and we were spending that time together.
Yeah, well, it's not too late.
No, we have the record. It's
Yeah.
here. You own it.
Yeah.
We can totally do that. It's just not going to be like a special moment anymore.
Oh, it could still be special.
Well, it'd be still be special. I'm sorry that
Yeah.
came off wrong. No, but it's you know what I mean. But it wouldn't be like a
It'd be
surprise.
Like
I
your
would.
first time listening. To
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I'd be like, oh, this that brown skin girl song. This song's dope.
But yeah, so this came out in 2015. It was pretty much received with like mostly positive reviews. People like were kind of surprised by like how like when you first hear it, if you hear it completely out of context, you could think that it was from like the 50s or 60s, like
That's
classic
well,
soul.
even looking at the record when you showed it to me the other day, I kind of thought that it was like a reissue of like a much older record.
Right.
And yeah, until I saw 2015 on the back of it, I even thought that was like the reissue date.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
a second
yeah.
pressing or whatever from that year.
Mhm.
But I think that the cool thing about this record and like music in general is that like some sounds like are timeless.
Yeah.
I think like if it's good, it's good. That's what
Yeah.
sucks about comedy is that like
Yeah.
you know what I mean, you could write the best joke in the world, but as soon as they've heard it, then they you know what I mean, it can't blow them
Totally.
away again, right? Where I
Yeah.
think you know what I mean, music like of this caliber, you know what I mean, that's might not be like, you know, like your particular cup of tea, you know, you can still like respect it and go like, oh, this is, you know, this is some beautiful stuff, right? Regardless of when it was released.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it has like that classic like soul sound, but it also does sound kind of like modern, like it's a modern take on it.
Oh, for sure.
Like there's elements of that. And so the title track, Coming Home, it like as soon as it came out, I guess Spotify does like these top 10 most viral tracks or whatever. Anyways, when it came out, it like automatically became one of their top 10 most viral tracks. Yeah, I first discovered him. I heard the last song on the album, River, on a show, Big Little Lies. That show.
Is that the one where like the family's all little people?
No.
Oh.
Is that like Little People Big World or something?
I don't know. I thought like you watch a lot of reality television, so it's
No,
legitimately.
that's a fair guess.
That would be
Yeah,
awesome
yeah.
if like there was like if that was like the name of like a soap opera or something.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it has to be exclusively little people, but
yeah.
like you're leaving money on the table.
It's that show with Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman, Zoe Kravitz, Laura Dern, a
good
bunch of
cast.
yeah. It's a
Okay.
really good show.
Okay.
I can't really. It's hard to say more without giving away.
What was it called? Little People, Big Lies?
Big Little Lies.
Okay, no people. Okay, sorry.
There's no little people
In the
involved.
title? Okay.
Yeah.
Not even
Big
Dinklage?
yeah, it's called Big Little Lies.
Okay.
Anyways, it was on. It might have even been the pilot it was on, and it kind of like stuck in my head. And I was like, "That's a really like cool song."
Yeah.
And I kind of looked him up, and I have been like a fan since then. I actually saw him live at the Peony Amphitheater.
Nice. What's what kind of band is he coming with?
It was like, you know, we had like the horn section and all that, like kind of like the full
Full
get-up.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Piano on stage, all the good stuff.
Yeah, and it
Nice.
was like interesting because we went. So we were still in VFS
Mm-hmm.
when I saw him, but it was the fall. It was probably like the last concert they were doing at the PNE that
okay.
year. And so it like started raining and shit during it, but it was
Nice.
still so much fun because he has such like a good stage presence, and he's a really like talented dancer too. So he was like grooving around the whole
Nice.
time, and everyone was like super into it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
If you're singing songs like this and not moving your hips, then I mean, come on, right?
And then when he got, and then like River was like the last song you did, and by then it was like pouring rain, and it was like it was really good. It was special.
Right, that's
Yeah.
awesome. There's not a
Yeah.
dry seat in the place.
Yeah.
And that's very cool.
Yeah. No, it was cool. But yeah. What? Well, I guess we've already kind of covered this a bit. But what are your thoughts on the record?
It was good. I don't want to say that it's like it's fine. You know what I mean? It's like soul music is not necessarily like something that that I'm really like seek out myself, obviously. And there's definitely some standouts on here. Definitely Brown Skin Girl, and some like anytime there's like the bass line gets cooler. You know what I mean? And there's like you know, when soul song, when they get cool, then I'm kind of into them. Otherwise, when they're like ballady or kind of like, you know what I mean, like slow, like kind of love songs or whatever. Like I said, I was just like kind of maybe not in like the in the right headspace to listen to it, being just completely racked hungover this morning. When I was doing the research, and honestly, like I was listening to this while also researching fart jars. So it's a very weird morning, but
he has a really good Tiny Desk concert.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely, but yes, I mean, a lot of it does kind of like, you know, kind of feel like it comes together, you know what I mean, in a good way, right? It's like it's a short listen, and you can kind of like get through it in a really, you know, puts a good kind of positive you know, spirit in your soul.
I think it's like his talent is pretty undeniable.
Absolutely.
Like his voice is like very, like, again, like sounds like a classic like soul voice. Like you can't like really teach that.
No, if you would have told me, like, if I had not have looked at this record at your house the other day and saw that, then I would have had I would have I'm almost bummed that I didn't do that, because I could have been like, man, this is an old ass record. Cool. I'd like send it to somebody and be like, it's like I'm on some old shit, right?
And the fact that it's like he's not even old, he's 32.
That's just like
so
that's some old soul stuff, right? And I like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure like this record's obviously a hit, and he's probably had like opportunities to make all types of different stuff. Is
He
still
has a
kind
couple.
of on this.
He's actually he has he's moved kind of more towards like a poppy mainstream direction, but still very much grounded in the same roots. He has 2 subsequent albums. The one that came out after this, Good Thing, I liked it. It didn't stick with me as much.
Sure.
And then the next one, I actually haven't listened to it all yet. But yeah, I think of the 2 that I have listened to, this one I think is definitely for me stuck with me way more. I felt like he went a little bit for my taste, a little bit too much in a mainstream direction for the second one. But
how so?
that's
Just more
me.
like upbeat kind of poppy tracks.
Yeah,
and stuff like that,
kind of
or
more like upbeat mainstream, like kind of catchy tunes.
Yeah,
Still
fair
very good, and still like he still has great songs on there that are, and you can still hear his roots and everything. But and again, I haven't listened to the third album.
That, and you like stick with them, or you kind of put onto them for for what they do or what they did on that album, like any kind of departure. Like we've talked about that a million times with a bunch of bands or whatever, but like you know what I mean, any departure from the thing that like you discovered at the beginning is kind of, you know.
And I think it makes sense, like when this album,
we all just want the same thing again. We don't know what we want.
When he got signed to Columbia to make this album, he was still working as a dishwasher in a restaurant, so there was no like outside influence really. Like this is just like
That's
him. Versus obviously now, he's achieved a lot of success. He like fucking opened for like Harry Styles on his like tour and shit, which is kind of like a weird combo. Though I will say, Harry Styles' solo stuff is like not that bad. There's like some
bring it to the table.
Some tracks that are like that again more poppy, but he has some tracks that are like actually like quite good.
Okay.
But
I mean, any like you can't really give an artist shit, because like when you saw Run the Jewels, they were there with Lord.
Exactly.
You know what I mean, right?
I
think if you're trying to get your music out to as many people as possible, and the opportunity to play. Like, I'm sure that kid plays fucking arenas or whatever, that Harry Styles or whatever. So, I mean, yeah, of course. Like, if
it
you
is like weird because
jump
like
on that.
Yeah, because he like Harry Styles like obviously got famous through his like One Direction band, which is like horse shit. Like most like poppy songs, like not even like good boy band, like the classic NSYNC, Backstreet Boys.
You know we love us some good boy bands.
But like it was kind of like, you know, it was literally made like Simon Cowell made that band to make money. But since they kind of broke up and Harry Styles went his own direction, it is quite different from that stuff. Okay. So he actually does, whereas like the other ones that did their own shit, like Niall and Zayn, they kind of did like that same like poppy shit. Whereas in my opinion, I think Harry actually has like a lot of individual talent and like actually has like his taste in music is way different than the music he was making at the beginning of his career.
Sure.
That's just my opinion.
In defense of Harry Styles, you heard it here first. I actually don't like if he walked into the room, I wouldn't know what he looks like. So I think he's like an easy target for people to like make fun of or whatever, like in pop music. But I'm not like as up on pop culture currently as I was. You know what I mean? And I know about the stuff of old, so all my references suck. Yeah. So like I mean, so I get it. Yeah. I get it. If he, I mean, I like if a young artist can grow, I think like Miley Cyrus puts out some you know some stuff with her singing in a forest, and you're actually like, holy shit, this girl's got a voice on her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, and that's cool.
And I will say with like Harry Styles too, whenever he's on SNL, he does very well. Yeah. Which like I think that like kind of made me start to respect him a bit more. And same with Miley Cyrus, same with like Justin Timberlake. Yep. Like
Donald Trump too. Like I mean, once you come on and murder it on SNL.
But anyways, so Leon Bridges, so he has a very like distinct like fashion sense. Like he dresses.
I love this. Whatever he's wearing on the front cover here, that's just like right out of a bygone era.
Yeah, like he wears like clothing from like the 50s and 60s, and like I read this one quote that basically says he's like someone whose music sounds like he looks. Which and
like Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah, and he says like this one quote from him, he's like, I just go online and I search like Chicago 1950s or New York 1950s, and I love how back then like wearing a suit was just like casual, and the way they dressed was like clean and like well fitting and stuff.
Totally.
And so we were just talking the other day with Sean about how he feels like you have until like age 35 to like nail down your style. Yeah. And so if you could just like start dressing like any way without anyone saying anything, like just do like a huge like shift, what would you do? I think
the best thing about the shift would be what people have to say about it.
Okay, so you people,
I would probably wear Bigfoot costume, assless chaps.
And that would just be your style?
Every day.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I would like to, I think like the difference between what I wear and what I would like to wear every day, I think is like a dollar amount and like, you know what I mean? Like a pursuit into like fashion or whatever that seems more like time and money consuming than anything else. Right. So I think like I love, you know, like the gangster movies kind of said like of that date or whatever. So whatever he's wearing, it would probably be pretty close to what like I would do. You know what I mean? Like a nice suit and a hat.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I love putting them on. But like the only time I've ever had the opportunity is for like church and court. So, you know, I don't really get a whole lot of opportunities just to like, you know, sit around and, you know, and do this. So like if I'm like cooking tomato sauce, you know, with like my dress shirt hung over the chair, right? And I got like the undershirt on with the suspenders. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm, you know, hanging out and, you know, I got... Jeez, Jackie. Do you got somewhere to be?
No. Just
gotta
kill any babies gestating inside me.
Nice. Take the birth control. It's important. But yeah. So like if I was in that situation, you know what I mean? Just like kind of searing up meatballs and, you know, my cigarette ash is getting into the sauce and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I think like, that would be the thing. It's like being in like a shitty old Italian house, but like, you know, like when you leave the house, you're dressed up, you're ready to go. And I think there's something cool about that. I think that people need a lot more respect for themselves because like what like hype beasts or like what like the style is now is just ridiculous, where you're wearing like, you know, sweatpants with like the scrunchy bottoms, and like I can see your socks, and you know what I mean. There's too many shorts that are just like up way above the knee and shit like that. I think like where men's fashion has gone now, there's just like it's just like lacking a sense of cool. I understand that there's like it's more like accepting for men to wear whatever they want, and I don't give a shit what you wear, but like, would I wear it? Like, no, because I like to look cool.
Yeah.
Or like I just like the style that I like.
Yeah.
So I dress like I did when I was 15, and that's until I can afford to dress how I'm going to dress until I die. So long story short.
Nice.
Yeah.
I would dress like a 1930s hooker. Like they do, like in Moulin Rouge with like the
Jackie,
tight like
I'm
corset.
loving it.
And
I'm loving it. With me in a suit?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Like, come on.
What a handsome pair.
Why don't we start doing that
We
immediately? Like, I don't know what like corsets cost, and like you know, like really tight fitting at the top, but like fluffy out dress and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's do it. Big bustier. I don't know what that is, but I think it's a cool word. I think that's something to do with tits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Either that, or else we should wear like one leather suit for the rest of like our days, kind of in like a sci-fi post-apocalyptic sense or something like that. Like something
we
really
could flip
tight-fitting.
between the two.
That would be cool. That would be cool. Like, we're like the couple that's either, you know what I mean, fucking like 3045 post-apocalyptica, or 1935. You know, I don't know. Wait, what happened in 1935? Economy crash. We're going to war.
Yeah.
World War II is fucking starting up again and
Titanic?
stuff like that. Fuck, I don't
What
know.
was that?
I don't know.
Maybe 20s.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, but like either way, you know what I mean. I
Yeah.
think like dressing like that era doesn't mean that we have to like know anything about the time that the clothes those clothes come from. I think what we should do is just like contact a tailor. You know what I mean? Because I think that like that like type of person and like those type of skills might be kind of like going away.
Right.
Right. So we need to find somebody, and then we need to like find a young person and get them excited to make us clothes from a bygone era and stuff. And then we could just be, you know, everybody needs a shtick on stage too, right? Why not be?
Yeah.
And we can even talk like that. And we're smoking a cigarette, see?
That's how we should.
So I'm getting in an Uber the other day, see?
To the next haters dinner.
I think it's important that we start looking for this, and we make the shift immediately. We're gonna have to start smoking cigarettes on the podcast now.
Yeah, with the long cigarette holder.
You have the long cigarette holder. I have black coffee.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And the
newspaper.
big feathers. The
totally.
one of the things that like with the like sequined thing, that band that goes around with the big feathers on the side.
Love it. And for some reason, I just keep questioning you about a murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I feel like I'm gonna be an investigator at this point.
I can see.
You know, I've always been like, fuck the police, unless it's like an old timey detective. I'm about that life.
Nice.
Yeah,
I think they had some real principles.
Sure. Absolutely. Or a crooked cop, New York, 1975.
Yeah. So Leon Bridges has also been compared to Robert Johnson because of just like his like effortlessness and how he kind of seemingly like came from nowhere and was just like this virtuoso. And so anyone who doesn't know, Robert Johnson was like this American blues musician, and like basically the legend is that he met the devil at the crossroads and exchanged his soul for like mastery of blues guitar. If you met the devil at the crossroads,
Nice.
What would you exchange your soul for?
If I met the devil at the crossroads, I would get my soul back for the half a bag of Doritos that I sold it for in the 3rd grade to Matt Larmer. You fucking asshole. So I honestly like I remember like signing a piece of paper when I was in the 3rd grade that like I did sell my soul.
Yeah.
And like I've been fine ever since, but if that like explains a lot about me,
Right.
you know, to anybody, then yeah, I guess that's the case. But no, I think if in the unlikely chance that I meet the devil and he doesn't currently already own my soul,
right,
several times over, because once you sell it the first time, like I probably sold it like 4 or 5 times after the course. I mean, yeah, sure, you want it, you can have it.
Right.
But if that was the case, if none of those contracts are binding, you know, and my soul still in fact belongs to me, and I met the devil at the crossroads, I would probably, I want to say like I would do something righteous. Like I want to be like, I don't need your help, motherfucker. I'm gonna do this on my own. And then like I'd like 8 Mile walk off with like a garbage bag full of clothes over my shoulder.
Right. Yeah.
You know, do like a peace sign or whatever. But we both know that I'm not that noble. And if I'm gonna be honest, then I would probably say, I just want to get back into fuck shape.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean, right? I think that my body is a little bit is betraying me. Shane Clark posted on Facebook that I have this natural ability to look fat and in shape at the same time, and it's a funny thing to say about somebody. It's totally cool to say. It's hilarious. But like it hit me, and I was like, "Oh shit! Like I need to do something about that." So like before, I would say, because like, what do you want? Like, what do you want? Like to like the ability to like write the best joke or like be the funniest person or whatever. Because that's gonna
already
like
got it
exactly right. Fucking get something that you actually need, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like if that was the case, then I think like immortality or something like that. Like I would probably like try to like prolong my life for as long as possible, looking the way that I do. But just taking off like maybe like 25 pounds off the front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then 6 inches added. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd probably be. I'd probably do something like vain and shitty like that.
I think that's a good one.
What are you asking for?
I would want like maybe like some like really like unexpected skill. Like if all of a sudden I was like a crazy good like race car driver.
That would be funny if like if you just asked him for like an unexpected skill, and then you could be like one of those person that like spins plates on sticks.
Yeah.
Just, like you can ride one of those really old bicycles that have like the big front wheel, like the 5-foot front wheel, and the little one on the back. Like that's a pretty.
Yeah,
pretty
it's just
unexpected
like one
skill.
of those things that like doesn't like really come up in conversation often, but when it does, you're like, oh yeah, didn't I tell you I'm like a crazy good race car driver?
Did I tell you that I can make a wicked sorbet from scratch?
Yeah.
Like I can knit a scarf in like a pretty reasonable amount of time.
Nice. Yeah.
That would just be hilarious.
Like I can probably knit a scarf.
Oh, okay. Was that be like an unexpected skill for me to have? I guess. Okay,
yeah.
Maybe. Like, well, is that sexist of me to assume that you can knit a scarf?
My mom's a good knitter. She knits a lot.
Oh, shouts out to Jules.
Yeah, I have a bunch of sweaters that she's knit.
I have a knitted pair of Converse that I like very much, but that's not Julie's work. But I didn't know that I was such a fan of knitted slippers until I got a cool pair that shaped like a.
I have like a couple pairs of knitted slippers as well
Get
from my mom.
Get out of here. We're gonna be up here.
Knitted slippies.
Oh yeah, we're at. We're also at 55 minutes. So do we want to land this plane?
Sure, I have. Okay, it's not really like we've kind of covered this already, but can like round out the episode.
Sure.
So why like this particular style of music or like any kind of music that is like faded away, but there's clearly still a market for it? Like, why do you think it's cyclical like that? Like, is it, my thought is that maybe like people just aren't like trained musically in this way anymore, so it has to be someone who's motivated independently and like inspired independently to make sort of music that like harkens back to an earlier time. I
think that the like regardless of like any style, whether it be like film or music, fashion, anything like that, like they all kind of become cyclical because like all it takes is one person's like nostalgia in the future to kind of bring that back, right? And definitely like independently motivated for sure, but you're gonna have like I don't know if it's like that, like even a great example, but it'd be like Quentin Tarantino looking at like Reservoir Dogs, but taking all these little pieces from his favorite stuff, what I mean, and then a million people seeing that and ripping that off, and you're kind of like, you know what I mean, right? So like a lot of that stuff,
it comes back in style.
Yeah, definitely.
That new gum, that gum you like, is coming back in style.
Nice, iconic. I fucking
We still have to watch Fire Walk with Me and The Return.
Yes, that's absolutely true. Yeah. But I think that even with stuff like that, even like something like Twin Peaks, right? Like you're gonna find a couple like dorks like us that really like that you know, that tone or something, and then get the opportunity to make their own thing, you know, are going to kind of like put something in there to harken back. With Leon Bridges, I think is definitely it kind of stands on his own because he's taking, like, you know what I mean, that entire style and staying true to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He has every opportunity to add louder drums or, you know what I mean, features from, you know, maybe not on his debut album, but I'm sure, you know what I mean, on subsequent ones, that he could do anything, you know, within the last, like within the next like 50 years of, like, you know, musical and like technological advancements or whatever. But the fact that he's probably still, like, you know, I'm like recording this like on tape, you know what I mean, you know, through like old microphones and, you know, and doing that whole thing, then I think it's like it's up to a person like that to kind of respect, you know, like the history or whatever, and then want to you know, do their own thing the same way that, you know, the heroes kind of did it or whatever. And then I think like it sounds, if it's done like authentically, then it'll speak for itself. So I think, you know, like, am I going to go out, you know, tomorrow on my walks about and put this on? Probably not. But if you put this on, well, you know what I mean, say like, you know, you cook a dinner with your panties on or something like that, then dinner's burning with your panties off kind of situation like that. If I was going to speak so blunt.
You're going to speak candidly.
Candidly, yes. Forgive me. Sorry, Tim, that got a little out of hand there. But, yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, do you think, like, because of, like, do you think, like, the internet kind of, like, disrupts, like, the cyclical nature of things? Because at any time, people can, like, go back and discover something. But at the same time, like, because even with fashion now, too, like, people will dress however they want. Like, you can walk down the street in Vancouver and see someone dressed, you know, like a dandy in the 20s, or like
do that, or like a punk kid from the 90s,
or like a hype beast from 2022.
Of course.
And
I think,
but at the same time, there are like still major trends and stuff that are like overarching that a lot of people follow, but there's also like so many different like branches people can go off and just like do their own thing.
Well, I think like before, when something was like would explode like that, you had like something like MTV that was like, you know, like the youth kind of flocked to, that were like a tastemaker because there was nowhere else to go. So like flannels went through the roof when Nirvana came out.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there was like nothing else, or like, you know what I mean, because it was like such like you know, like a hard drive in that direction.
Yeah,
everything
well,
is
and then
that, and then you have like the counterculture to be like it's still there to say fuck that and like do their own thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I think that it's probably like it would have been a much slower cycle before, because now I think it just like comes with the seasons and stuff like that, or like one person just has to you know, like wear that article of clothing nice for something you know, that we haven't seen in a long time to come back. Like, will a fedora come back anytime soon? I hope so.
Yeah,
but it just doesn't look like it.
And like I think like back in like the days of like MTV and shit, you kind of had to fit into that, whether it be like the dominant genre or like the counterculture. You had to kind of fit into one of those lanes in order to have major success. So if like someone like Leon Bridges came around, then there'd be nowhere for him to be seen or heard. Whereas like now you can achieve a lot of success independently because people can discover you on their own.
For sure. I think there's just more lanes. Like, is there like less opportunity for you know what I mean, that for that opportunity for like, you know, one artist to like blow up? Like I don't think so, because if there's so many different lanes and there's so many you know, places for you to go to get whatever kind of art you're into, you know, then there's like there's enough space that that everything has like a room to exist. And then there's also like I think less stigma amongst like fans of stuff that like are open to new you know, that are open to more things, right? I think when I was a kid and somebody said they listened to everything, that just meant like whatever was like on the radio and this and that. But now when somebody says they listen to everything, like somebody in your situation that like, you know, absolutely does, from like, you know, pop music to soul music to you know what I mean, to hip hop or whatever, to whatever bullshit I bring into your, you know, in your life, right? Then, you know, so like all of that kind of like about you, there's definitely more of it, and I think for the better, right? Because if there's like, if something like this is like sounds so timeless, you know, then why isn't there like a movement you know, of this kind of, you know, stuff kind of coming back or whatever.
Yeah.
And that being said, I don't know anything about these guys, and I'm sure there is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm sure there's a lane. If you go to Fort Worth, Texas, or whatever, to one of his local shows or whatever, I'm sure that there's people kind of coming up on his heels that are, you know, doing something cool, which
totally
I'm super into.
Yeah. Well, I think that about wraps it up.
I'd put wraps it up. I don't never wrap it up.
It's true.
Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Yeah. Thank you for watching.
Absolutely.
Like and subscribe. Leave a comment.
We'll catch you on the flippity flop flashers.
Hell yeah. And if you want a jar of farts, holler at your boy.
Fuck yeah. Come to King's Head. Come to King's Head Pub and Kits every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.